I was just out of a marriage that I had been in relationship with him for about 14 years and married for close to 7, and getting divorced and then divorced and starting a whole new chapter and starting to date, which was frightening, given I was in my 30s and I hadn't really dated. And so, I was just getting out of a marriage and starting my dating journey. Several things. I think the main point is being able to get my sense of self-worth, to get in touch with my feminine side that I think had been that I just hadn't accessed for a long time, or maybe I thought I was, but I wasn't in the way that was helpful for me in relationships. So increasing my sense of self-worth, deserving love, opening my heart to it in a different way, and accessing my femininity in a way that I think I didn't realize I could. For me, that was being more in touch with some of the blocks and kind of traumas that I had around relationship. And that was from, childhood stuff and relationship with my parents and attachment, and as well as just old wounds from, romantic relationships. And I think realizing or having more of an awareness of how much I was kind of sexualizing myself and trying to be in the feminine in a way that was actually not vulnerable. And so being able to shed some of those layers and really kind of embody something more genuine and authentic, or in terms of how I was bringing myself into romantic relationship. And then when I first started to kind of dip my toes into dating, I was definitely attracting, for a variety of reasons, the wrong people. People that were attracted to my sexual energy, people who were kind of emotionally unavailable that I was trying to reach and kind of take care of, people that were too dominating. And so, I could see it manifest, and that's part of what it attracted me and led me to kind of search out your course and you as a coach. The course was able to open my heart as opposed to kind of working in my mind and in my thoughts. And I feel like most therapy doesn't get at that in the way that this course does. And that's something that I hadn't even realized that I needed, maybe on a subconscious level, which led me to find it and eventually pull the trigger. But it's such a different experience to kind of heal your heart and open your heart and work at that level than on your mind. And you can only talk about what your problems are in dating and in relationship and in love so much if that heart wall is still closed. You can't get your mind to talk it open. So you really need the exercises and the mindfulness practices and the meditations, and you need to do it over and over again, and you need to work through those practices in your body. And that's really what I got from your course and this course to attract my soulmate, was to embody these practices and do them over and over again, even when they felt awkward and silly. And really that was just that resistance is just I think an unworthiness on my part, right? In the guise of like, this is silly, why would this work? Like, what one of the practices I'm thinking about is the daily ritual or the morning practice where I would look in the mirror and do the affirmations, which was something that my previous self would have been like, what is that going to do? That's kind of silly, right? That's corny. But I was at such a place where I was like, you know what? I've tried other things and I'm going to dive into this, and the resistance that's there probably means something to work through. So I did it, and it felt hard, and the fact that it felt hard meant there was something there that needed to be. It shouldn't be hard to do an affirmation where you're saying really positive things about yourself, but it did feel hard. And the more I practiced it and the more I embodied it, the more I think that heart wall kind of melted and moved and shifted. It worked on my body and my mind in a different way, and I really enjoyed the practices and the meditation and some of the imagery and the visualization. It's an incredibly unique course that helps to heal and open your heart in a different way that you may not even realize you needed. And you may kind of look at it as something like, well, what's that going to really do? What are all those practices going to really do for me? Or I can do that on my own. And yeah, I guess you could, but the fact that it's put together and the way that you have it and the flow of the different practices and the phases of working through, self-love to healing your heart from your exes and your patterning from your family. And then also like the feng shui principles of like aligning your space. So I would just say the heart opening exercises and practices that really are unique and not, you're not going to get that from a therapist. You're not going to get that in such a streamlined package that you worked really hard and just kind of birthed from love. You can kind of feel that passion in it. I started dating men that were definitely better for me and more aligned and had really fun, juicy, erotic, sweet dates that I wasn't having before. And then pretty quickly after, I met the man that I'm married to currently. And he's someone I never would have found prior to doing this. And in fact, the first message that he sent me asked me, it seems like from your profile, you have a meditation practice or something like that, where he kind of intuited something that I don't even think was on my profile. And it just was like instant resonance and alignment. And we dated for some months, and he moved in with me and my son. He's an amazing stepfather and husband, and just so kind and loving. And we have a really balanced relationship that, of course, we're still, you're working on. It doesn't end just from finding the person that's your person. It continues, but I'm able to draw on a lot of the things that I got from the course, and that's been really helpful. And he's supportive of that and great stepfather to my son. And it's great to just be able to really talk about it in a way that he supports and kind of holds for. So yeah, that's my life currently. We've been married for, 4 years now, and together for almost 7. And I think part of why he was able to intuit my profile is because once I finished the course, I edited my profile, and the energy that I put into changing even just words and how I answered questions was just different from what I had done before. And that aligned with helping, someone find me that was in that space that I was looking for. And if you want to open yourself up and give yourself compassion and self-love in a different way and learn the skills to do that with yourself and others, this is the course to do that with 100%.